Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Cork, and I am Vice President of Community Engagement and Corporate Communications at YKK Corporation of America. Today, I am excited to take you on a virtual tour of Passive Town, YKK's sustainable housing development in Kurobe City, Toyama Prefecture, Japan. In the wake of the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, the YKK Group moved a portion of our headquarters from Tokyo to Kurobe. In Kurobe, we planned a project to address both a housing shortage for the employees and their families who would be transferring, and also to take on the issue of sustainable housing. The project is being developed on 36,100 square meters of land in Kurobe owned by the YKK Group, which used to be the site of company housing. It offers a residential area that makes use of solar light and heat, Kurobe's abundant underground water, seasonal winds, and the rich greenery of trees in an aim to break away from dependence on conventional energy. Passive design is used to reduce heating and cooling energy by 60% compared to regular houses in the Hokuriku region, and solar power to reduce hot water energy by 30%. We also use high energy equipment to reduce by 10% energy use for lighting, appliances, and in the kitchen. The plan is to build 250 residences by 2025. Blocks 1 through 3 are already complete with 117 homes. From the beginning, the development was also intended to integrate with the local community, which is why you will see no gates around the complex. Also available on the premises are commercial facilities such as cafes, restaurants, and a daycare center. In this way, we are contributing to the development of a convenient and open community. Before proceeding with the tour, I would like to show you a short video that explains the layout of Kurobe City and the special characteristics that make it especially suited to using passive energy.
Let us tell you a little bit about YKK zippers. YKK manufactures more than 2 million kilometers of zippers every year, which is equal to more than 50 trips around the Earth. Zipper production technology originated here in Kurobe, Toyama Prefecture. High-quality water is essential for manufacturing. Kurobe has an abundant supply of pure groundwater suitable for stable production. The magnificent fan-shaped delta of Kurobe is often called Japan's most beautiful alluvial fan. The area is blessed with one of the nation's richest water resources, with natural spring water welling up from various places that supply an extensive network of rice paddies. The reason behind the natural affluence is the heavy rainfall in the Kurobe River watershed. Annual rainfall is 3,500 millimeters, ranking it as the nation's 5th highest. The water that falls on the 3,000-meter-high mountains infiltrates into strata and flows 30 to 40 years before it starts to spring out. The natural spring water from the alluvial fan is almost 500 million square meters annually, which is equal to the volume of nearly 1.04 million 25-meter pools. The spring water welling up in the area has been used for drinking, cooking, cooling food, laundry, and other domestic purposes by local residents throughout the ages. YKK benefits from Kurobe's water in a variety of different processes, such as dyeing zippers. We are also working to develop a new air conditioning system using geothermal energy. We can expect to achieve high heat exchange efficiency from Kurobe's abundant groundwater. We believe this will improve the environment at the same time. Kurobe has taken advantage of its rich natural water resources for many different industries, such as agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism. Water is truly one of the treasures of Kurobe. Thank you, Kurobe. Thank you, groundwater.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Now let's get started with our tour of Passive Town. As mentioned before, Passive Town consists of a series of blocks, and each are designed by a different architect. Tadahiro Yoshida, the former chairman of YKK Corporation and YKK-AP, decided to ask several different architects to each design one of the city blocks. Each architect works on how to best utilize the winds and the groundwater in their respective block. As the residences are completed and residents start living there, the energy consumption of each city block becomes clear, and we are releasing to the public data on all of the blocks. Mr. Yoshida admits that that may be kind of harsh for the architects, but we will intentionally release this data so that we can reference it in the future and see what materials and designs are needed to build buildings with low energy use. YKK's founding president, Tadao Yoshida, was a master of creating competition within the organization. Such competition would become the motivation for each employee to challenge themselves. There will always be failures when trying to achieve something new, and in fact, our core value to this day is do not fear failure, experience builds success. We're going to start with the landscaping. The landscaping of Passive Town was designed by Shunsaku Miyagi and includes an abundance of plants and waterscapes that are beautiful in all four seasons and maximize the Ai no Kaze, Kurobe's seasonal winds. I would like for you to take a look at this drawing of Block 1, which illustrates how the landscaping and buildings work together to make use of the natural resources of wind, water, greenery, and the sun. You can see that the wind blows from the north, passes through the gardens, and then through the back of the building. The air continues to flow through the building and is released out the veranda on the other side, where it can keep flowing through to the next set of buildings. Block 1 was completed in March 2016 and was designed by Yuichiro Kodama, who was also the designer of the master plan. This block features a wood chip biomass boiler for hot water and heating and makes use of Kurobe's groundwater for cooling. It also uses solar heat for the hot water supply. The housing complex has strategically placed windows to allow for maximum ventilation and has wind vanes on the roof as well as movable external shielding. It also relies on YKK AP's triple glazed vinyl windows and 100 millimeter thick exterior insulation, as well as thermal bridging prevention methods on the balcony. So what we are looking at right here is a view of the entire Passive Town complex from the old company housing. You can see in the foreground Passive Town Center Common, which was built as a shared garden for all of the residents and members of the community to enjoy. This area also serves as a pathway for the wind to blow through the complex. Passive Home is home to about 100 species of plants and trees, and there are actually a total of about 550 trees planted in the complex. Here is the same graphic as I showed you a few minutes ago, but this shows how the water flows underground and into the building, as well as the location of the wood chip biomass boiler. You can also see how the verandas make use of the sun. In Block 1, the air that comes from outside is warmed in the winter by the biomass boiler and cooled in the summer through the heat exchanger and water tank that makes use of the underground water. In the center, you can see the vent in the home that allows the air to flow through. Here we are looking at the Block 1 building layout. The arrangement of the buildings is staggered so that the seasonal wind, Ai no Kaze, that is unique to Kurobe can pass through. Thermal energy from solar heat collecting panels installed on the roof is utilized for hot water, and a wind vane installed on the roof lets the wind into the buildings. Here we are looking at the Block 1 courtyard. The courtyard makes use of deciduous trees with thick foliage in summer to provide shade from the sun. Those same trees allow sunlight to enter the rooms in the winter when their leaves drop. The courtyard has a water feature that takes advantage of the subterranean waters unique to Kurobe's fan-shaped topography. A wooden vertical lattice is installed at each doorway to accommodate nighttime ventilation. This is a model room from Block 1. A small window is installed above the entrance of the room to let the breeze enter the room. The residence has radiant heating and cooling using indoor wall and floor panels that circulate hot water heated by a biomass boiler in winter and groundwater in summer. The home also has high-performance vinyl windows from YKK AP. There is a wide terrace provided on the south side of the building and eaves on the terrace to block out the sun. Block 2 was completed in October 2016 and was designed by Fumihiko Maki, who is a giant in the world of architecture. Although Mr. Maki was excited to join the project, there was no architect who could design based on energy efficiency at Mr. Maki's firm. So Mr. Yoshida asked Associate Professor Masayuki Mae of Tokyo University Graduate School if he could join the project as an advisor. Professor Mae is an expert in eco-architecture who researches residents across the country, especially eco-houses, and he is also an expert at analyzing the efficiency of natural energies in homes. This block features a gas-latent heat recovery water heater and energy-efficient air conditioner. It also uses solar heat for the hot water supply. Like Block 1, it also has strategically placed windows to allow for maximum ventilation, and it has eaves. It also relies on YKK AP's triple glazed vinyl windows and 100 millimeter thick exterior insulation, as well as thermal bridging on the balconies. If you look at the graphic in the upper right, you can better understand the layout of the home. The wooden lattice that you see on the end of the building, as well as the southwest facing terrace, allows the sunlight to enter in the winter, bringing in warm air, but the lattice also serves as a control against the afternoon sun in summer. The cool Aino-kaze wind flows in from the northeast and can exit through the balconies. The balcony makes use of the IsoCorb structural thermal bridge prevention system, which transfers the stress caused by loads on balconies to the building itself, while preventing the transfer of heat between balconies and interior slabs. It also uses the Stotherm cement-free external wall insulation system. Here we are looking at the Block 2 courtyard. Water sounds set up on the road in front of the commercial area create a cool atmosphere. A pavilion is located in the courtyard for relaxing. Here we are inside Block 2 model room. You'll notice the natural light and a breezy living terrace, a sunroom, and a veranda. The home also features high-performance vinyl windows from YKK AP. Now it's time to take a look at Block 3. Block 3 was completed in June 2017 and was designed by Miwa Mori. This was a renovation of an existing building and features homes for single occupants in a combination of flats and maisonette style. This block features an electric heat pump, water heater, and energy-efficient air conditioner. It also has eaves and movable external shielding. And like the other blocks, it relies on YKK AP's triple glazed vinyl windows and exterior insulation, as well as thermal bridging on the balconies. The existing building was remodeled into a three-dimensional structure. Type A is a flat type with an open floor plan. Type B is a maisonette structure with stairs leading up and down to the bedrooms. The renovation included improving the thermal environment, changing the materials used on the balcony to mitigate heat loss, and downsizing the size of the homes to reduce the structural load. And here you can take a look at a model room in Block 3. As we mentioned before, this was a renovated model that uses the old corporate housing, Building J and Building K. All of the rooms in this building are for single people. Here you can see some of the high-performance vinyl windows. But the point of Passive Town is not just to create a sustainable housing complex. External experts are leading assessment work on the town's energy consumption performance and passive design based on actual measurements and exchanging opinions with the residents to verify their lifestyles. These results are not only reflected in our own product development, but also published outside the company in the hope of contributing to the construction industry as a whole. The entire complex is evaluated by a third-party organization called the Passive Design Performance Evaluation Committee. Assessments include asking whether the weather conditions were actually as envisioned by the building designer. Regarding energy consumption, what figure was achieved against the target? How was the resident satisfaction level? Is the indoor thermal environment within the comfort range for both summer and winter? We are working with a variety of experts at universities across Japan to properly assess the results. We are very pleased to report that the first 3 blocks have achieved or surpassed the target set at the beginning of the project on all measures, including heating and cooling, hot air, and lighting and electricity usage. Building K in Block 3 was named winner of the 2017 LEED Homes Award in the Outstanding Multifamily Project. It was the first in Japan to be named a winner. Passive Town also obtained the top 5-star rating under the Building Housing Energy Efficiency Labeling System, or BELS, in Japan. In addition to homes, Passive Town was also designed to contribute to the community in other ways. The complex includes a daycare center that cares for children between 0 and 2 years old. Also, Passive Bazaar is a cafe that sells a variety of items from several local stores, including Cafe Bonfino, coffee from YKK's own coffee plantation in Brazil. Passive Kitchen features halal and other international cuisine to meet the needs of YKK employees from all over the world who come to Kurobe to train for extended periods. The community center is a gathering place for residents and other community members. It also has energy-efficient appliances such as solar-powered lighting and electricity and hot water, and heat generated from pellet stove that use biomass fuel. Here we are looking at the Passive Town Community Center located in Block 3. This has a community kitchen which is open to anyone that lives in the complex or to members of the local community. We also are taking a look at the courtyard that is right outside the front door. Okay, everyone, we have almost come to the end of our tour, but before we go, I'd like to show you one last look, which is a panoramic view of the entire complex as we're walking down the main street. So here, once again, we are looking at Block 3, Buildings J, and then Building K with the community center on the first floor. And then we continue down the street, and behind that, we see Block 2. And the first business we come to is Passive Kitchen. Remember, this is the restaurant that caters to international visitors in particular and serves halal food. So you can see that right there in the first floor of the Block 2 complex. And then just beyond that, we can see Passive Bazaar, which is where a variety of items are sold, including YKK's own Cafe Bonfino coffee from our plantation in Brazil. And then continuing down the street, right behind that, we will come to Block 1. can see the wind vanes on the top of the home, and you can see the Tampopo Daycare Center there in the first floor. So I hope that all of you have enjoyed this tour of Passive Town today. Really enjoyed showing you around, and I hope that if you ever have the opportunity to visit Kurobe, please come and visit Passive Town and take a look around yourself. Thanks so much for joining us today. Bye-bye.